Good morning, YouTube. You guys asked and we listened. We have a huge change for Normal Guy Supercar.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan and we are at my dealership, NG Supercars. And we've had a lot of you ask, hey, do you guys do services on cars? And we've always traditionally said no. And then we started doing conversions. And then we started doing other things along with the conversions. So we are going to change something that we do, or I should say add something that we do, which is we are now going to offer kind of what I'm going to call normal maintenance. So what does that mean and what's going on? Well, let's discuss that. First of all, before we get into it real quick, Black Friday is coming up. So please go check out our website, normalguysupercar.com. Also, there's a link right here, ngsc.me/black, and that has the information that you need about what's for sale and all that sort of stuff. So the good news is all the discounts are automatically applied when you go on the website. So Klein is 20% off, Valvetronic is 20% off, Bristow is 20% off, and for the first time ever, we are going to actually offer $2,000 off any conversion, but it has to be booked before the end of next week. So you have to be booked and paid for the parts before the end of next week. That's the rule. So if you want to get a conversion, you can get in line and you don't have to have it scheduled immediately, but we will need the deposit, or basically we're gonna buy the parts up front. So yeah, what inspired this change for the services? Well, like I said, we kept getting asked, hey, where can I get my oil change? Where can I get this done? Just basic stuff done to these sort of supercars. And a lot of people said, I just don't trust anyone else. What we're offering is not like, hey, I have this weird problem, no one knows how to fix it. We're not going to take in your car and try and troubleshoot it because we probably don't know how to fix it either. But services that we are going to offer are some of the basic stuff like oil changes, brake services. We're going to offer some more complicated stuff like we'll change out a clutch and of course like reprogram the PIS. But if it's things like, hey, I got this module and it has to be reprogrammed by the SD2, we don't have that, so we're not going to be able to offer it. Is this available for cars other than Ferraris? Yes, absolutely. It's model dependent, brand dependent. So if you say I've got a McLaren, it's very dependent because we have to have where our computer can talk to your car. So we can do certain things, we can't do other things. Eventually we might get a McLaren specific computer, but at the moment, ours is pretty limited. Same thing with Lamborghinis. Certain things we can and can't do on the computers, but we will do what we can. And of course, like I said, the goal is eventually we'll start adding more computers and more technology and more stuff to be able to help you. The other big thing is everything needs to be scheduled and all the parts need to be paid for up front. If you have a new clutch that you want us to do or whatever, you're gonna have to pay for the clutch and all the ancillary parts that go in with that before we get started and before we even schedule you. We want those parts here. We only have 2 lifts at the moment. We're discussing adding a 3rd. Feel free to put in the comments below, should we add a 3rd lift? Basically, we need to really make sure we're utilizing the lifts as efficiently as possible. So we can't have your car come here and then sit here forever while we're waiting for parts. Like admittedly, this car has been here way too long. It's been here for about 3 weeks now. It should have only been here for 1. So when we do conversions, we want the cars to get in and out in about a week. In the future, if you're going to get a conversion, we're going to need to know up front if you're going to want other stuff. We're going to say, hey, if other stuff comes up, are you going to want it? We're going to do our best to keep stuff in stock that does come up when doing these conversions, but admittedly, it's not always possible, or sometimes it's just very expensive. Like having a spare clutch and all that stuff set around for a 430 and 360, you're talking close to $10,000 in parts just laying around waiting. We don't want to tie up too much of our money just having it chill, waiting for stuff. If you have any questions for any of this stuff that we're going to start offering, just send us an email. And ultimately, that's how you can get on our service calendar, is email us, sales@normalguysupercar.com. Technically, we're doing this not in the dealership. We're doing this through Normal Guy Supercar. We do actually have, as you know, 2 different companies. There's the dealership, and then there's Normal Guy LLC, which runs the parts and services. So we're trying to put this under the parts and services, not under the dealership. Complicated, whatever stuff. It just makes sense to have 2 different entities and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you guys don't really care about all that. So there you go. Happy Thanksgiving if it hasn't already happened for those of you in the US. Buy some stuff on Black Friday. We do appreciate when you guys support us. That keeps all this stuff going. And again, if you need to get a service done for your car, reach out to us, sales at normalguysupercar.com. But we do appreciate you guys' support. We're doing our best to just kind of keep things going and offer you guys the stuff that you need. So again, like I said, people kept asking, can you do services? Another quick question, what about if you're not local? Well, you can ship your car here, and we're certainly willing to schedule all that sort of stuff, and we can help arrange shipping. Also, if you're local and you need your car to get picked up and dropped off, we can do that obviously for a fee. We can't just do that for free because it could be, a couple hours of work every time. So if you're an hour away, it's an hour there, 30 minutes to load up, another hour back, you're talking 2.5 hours each way. But we can help you with that because we do have a truck and trailer. And even if your car is disabled, we do have a winch, so we can winch your car in. If you do have something go wrong with the car and you want an opinion on troubleshooting it, we'll take a look at it for a few minutes if you want to bring it by. But again, if it's not something basic or something that we know how to fix, we're not going to try and guess on how to fix it and do the whole let's just throw parts at it until something works. We don't want to do that. All right, you guys, I hope this is news that you guys like. It's stuff that you guys asked for, so we're trying to make you, the consumer, happy and all of our fans happy. And if you bring your car here, you'll have to let us know if you do or do not want it on video, because, well, obviously we do a lot of video here. So if you don't want it on video, that's not a big deal. Doesn't have to be. If you do want a video, that's fine. Sometimes we might, and sometimes we might not film it. Ultimately, it'll probably be in some shots, but basically we can remove the license plate or blur it or whatever, just so that if you want privacy, we get it. I understand. That's it. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching and for the suggestions. And you just had to be patient. We're trying to grow this thing as we can, and we felt like now is a good time to add services to our repertoire of stuff that we can offer you. Eventually, the goal is to hire a full-time mechanic. So we're trying to build up enough bookings to get to that point. Also, if you're a mechanic and you want to come do a cheap internship and learn how to work on these cars, or if you already know how to work on the cars, that'd be great. That's something we could discuss. Obviously, at the moment, we're not quite in a position to be able to pay a full-time mechanic. Once we get enough bookings, that's the goal. Again, get enough bookings to have this, so it's constantly in use. We'd love to have the lifts every day being used, servicing cars, doing stuff. That would be awesome. Eventually we'll have to find a mechanic because Josh and I don't have enough time to do all of this plus all of that. But we'll start off doing it, and then it'll kind of spread over to hopefully someone else that's very talented. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. We're gonna be doing a lot of cool car stuff. You're gonna wanna stay tuned. It's gonna be sweet.